Hey everybody, Zeal Brothers here with another video. This one in response to Colton Underwood, who is saying that his relationship is better with God is better than ever since he came out gay. And if you read the article that talks about this, he talks about how his relationship with God is on his terms and how he was encouraged by other mainstream Protestant leaders. One was a now considers herself to be a female pastor who once was a male. Other gay affirming Protestant churches. And I just want to just say straight out there just how understanding I am of his position. And the understanding that I have is that he is absolutely wrong. And let me just say this. The first thing that he said when he said that his relationship is on his terms with God, that lets you know that he does not know who God is. And I'm going to just say that right there, very bluntly. You do not know the God of the Bible if you think you can have a relationship on his terms, on your terms with him. Because that will be as if you are negotiating from a position of power with God. You do not believe in the God of the Bible if you think you have a position of power on him. He does not need you. One of the first theological understandings of God are the principles of God that, first of all, that we don't share with him, and then the principles of God that we do share with him. In other words, his incommunicable properties and then his communicable properties. What are communicable properties? These are things like, for example, God has emotions. We have emotions. So things that he shares with us would be things that we would reflect him in some way. But there are some things about him that we cannot reflect. And one is that he's eternal. Another one is that he is absolutely independent. He does not need anybody. And a being that does not need anyone or anything to sustain him or give him pleasure or give him joy in any way is a being that you don't have any power to negotiate with to have a relationship on your terms. And so we first must understand this. And I know a lot of people don't want to say this, and I would just say it just straight up, and I'll say it in this way. God negotiates all relationships on his terms because he's always operating in a position of power. He doesn't need you. I'm going to say that again, just for anybody who misheard it. He don't need you. Now, he does want people to believe in him. But to think that you can negotiate terms with God is in itself foolish. And it is one of the little sins that Job committed in the book of Job. Because Job thought that he could negotiate with God and explain to him why he made a bad decision with what he did with Job's life. He found out he had no position to negotiate with God, even being the most righteous man on the face of the earth. He had no position to talk to God with terms as if he was looking at him face to face like he would another man. And it doesn't matter how brave you might think you are. It doesn't matter how much courage you might think you have. When you face the ultimate power of the universe and he looks you in your eyes, you will blink. Because he doesn't have fear. He doesn't have the capability to have fear. Because fear would be the emotion of understanding that something else could harm you. You can't harm God. So that was the most profane part of it. And there's a lot of profanity in what he said. What I mean profanity is profane things. There's a lot of profane things that are in this article. The other one is the idea that you could be gay and that you could be a happily professing believer in good relationship with the Lord. That's also false. And why is that false? It's false because to understand who God is to understand that he holds all of us to a standard. And the standard that he has is you must first believe in him, believe in his goodness. In other words, Hebrews puts it, the one who believes in him must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So he rewards those. In other words, he's a good God. He returns good for good. But one other part that you have to understand if you're going to serve him is that he has a standard. Ephesians 2:10 says, he prepared good works for us beforehand. So in other words, when we get saved, which is by grace, not of works, lest any man will boast, he then prepares us for good works. And what are those good works? Those good works are the moral character that he describes. And who describes it is God. He doesn't have to negotiate with that with you. Now, you may not like that the Bible says that homosexuality is a sin. You may not like that the Bible does not accept a transsexual. You may not like that the Bible does not accept a bisexual person. You may not like those things. And that's okay. You have a right to your opinions. But at the end of the day, you do not have a right to pretend that the Bible is saying something that it's not saying. You cannot look at the Bible, read the book of Leviticus, read the book of Romans, read the book of 1 Corinthians, read all of these books, and then come and tell me that the Bible doesn't say homosexuality is a sin. If you do, you are lying. And that's what this guy is doing. He is lying to himself. But he has created a new religion. And here's the thing. If you have a God that does accept you for all of those things, you have simply created a new religion. I would prefer that you didn't call it Christianity, because it would simply confuse other people. But the religion that you have is not the Christianity that I would call common Christianity. It's a new religion. It's a new religion that accepts any behavior. And ultimately, it's the religion of Satanism. That's what Satanism is. Satanism's main quote is, "Do as you will." It's amazing to me that we have people who consider themselves to be Protestants and consider the Bible to be something that they respect, but are saying, "I will do what I want." That's the main tenet of Satanism. And so what you need to do is change the name of your religion to Satanism, which is what it is, and then do what you want. Because here's the thing, you could do whatever you want. Nobody's stopping you, right? Nobody's stopping you, boo. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Go ahead and serve whoever you want to serve. Go ahead and have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. Just don't pretend that you're pleasing the God of the Bible when you do it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you believe, you're going to have to face him. The Bible says every knee will bow, every tongue will confess. At the end of the day, Colton Underwood is going to have to face the real God, not the God of his own making, not this idol that he has designed, one that he has fashioned, which is just as foolish to worship the God of his own imagination as it was in the ancient days when they took a piece of silver and made an idol. It's just as foolish. So he will have to face not the God that he has fashioned, but the real God. He will have to look him in the eye. And when he looks that God in the eye and that God says, "I said in 1 Corinthians 6:9, what I will not allow into heaven. What's your excuse?" What is he going to say? And I want everybody to ask that question to themselves. If you look God in the eyes and you believe in a rational universe like I do, you believe in logic like I believe in logic, and you look at the scriptures, how will you look God in the eyes and tell him that your behavior matches his standard? That your beliefs match his beliefs? And if you can't do that, if you know you would blink, change now.